Yo, the way Rick flew through that window, every Friday the 13th movie has to have a body fly through the window. And Jason, listen, Jason's intro through that window with the axe in his hand, fresh mask on, new look. Yo, he's got a new attitude. Listen, shout out to Jelly Dude, man. Ask and you shall receive. Jelly Dude asked if they say, yo, if you haven't done it already, can you please do a review for Friday 13th Part 5 or 3? And fuck it, I'll do both, man, because I love both entries. But I was like, all right, I'll start from, Part 3 and work my way on up. But Friday the 13th Part 3, man, there's a lot of love to show for this movie, man, because this is a movie where this is one of those sequels where I feel like they didn't care. They didn't care, and not in the sense that they didn't care like they made a bad movie or anything. This is one of the best sequels in the franchise, honestly. It's one of the most fun. It's got some of the best kills in it, 2 of the best kills in particular. But this movie, this is just a run and gun Friday the 13th movie. People are smoking bud, they're drinking beers, they're fucking, they're getting killed by Jason Voorhees, man. There's no intricate storylines and things like that. There's no character arcs and character development. There's none of that shit, man. These are characters that are introduced for the most part, with the exception of Chris here as the final girl. And y'all can take y'all pick as far as where Chris falls into the final girl ranking as far as the Friday the 13th franchise goes. But with the exception of her having a backstory and a direct tie into Jason, there's nobody really written to be anything other than cannon fodder. And I hate to say that, man. I really hate to say that. Meat for the grinder, but it is what it is. I feel like this is one of those movies where you can pick and choose what characters you really liked. I think that there's a lot of people that either loved or hated I would have loved to see that in 3D. How Jason he fucking throws that knife because he's like, God damn, this shit hurts, man. He's like, fuck it, he just threw it. But I see somebody on Facebook say that Chris was their least favorite final girl in the franchise because all she did was run and scream. And I'm like, well, what the fuck you supposed to do when a fucking serial killer's after you? But this movie is great, man. This was, a direct sequel to Part 2. One of the first direct sequels that we got in the slasher genre. I want to say Halloween 2 might have did it first as far as like picking up. Now I could be wrong here. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I feel like Halloween 2 was one of the first movies that we're going to pick up directly after the first one. This one picked up directly after the second one. I don't know how the fuck Jason just lost all his hair all of a sudden, because he had hair. He had like little bits of hair at the end of Part 2, but whatever, man. And he gets new clothes, and then he walks around for a lot of this movie without a mask until he runs into Shelly and he gets his mask. And it's a good origin story for the overall look of Jason. And I feel like it's always special to go back and watch this movie because when you like the last time we really got Jason on the big screen, like theatrically, it was 2009. So to watch that movie and to go all the way back, or even to watch like Jason X, and to go all the way back to this movie, like, damn, man, this is really where we started. Like, these are the humble beginnings of when Jason first got the hockey mask and first really started getting into his groove. Like, yo, I could really do this killing shit for real, huh? Like, I'm supernatural. I survived a machete to the shoulder. I'm good. Speaking of, Jason did a Power Ranger dive. When Chris is about to run into him with the van, he literally, like, his arms and legs flailed out in the air. But yeah, this movie's great, man. Like I said, you can pick and choose what characters you love or you hate or you want to get attached to, but Jason doesn't give a fuck about any of these characters in this movie. He kills the bikers. He kills the people that own that convenience store in the beginning. And technically, this really isn't Friday the 13th. This would be, what, Saturday the 14th or some shit like that, because it takes place directly after the last movie. And Jason is in his bag in this movie, man. Not only is he still running, jogging, whatever the case may be. He's got a new look, but he kills a pregnant woman. Did y'all forget that Debbie was pregnant in this movie? The girl, when she looks up, first of all, she's reading a Fangoria magazine. Shout out to Fangoria. I used to get them shits all the time. But she's reading a Fangoria magazine, and then there's blood dripping down, and she's like, what? Where's this coming from? I don't even know what's happening. Just a dumbass. And she looks up and sees Andy just split from groin to sternum. And Jason stabs, he grabs her through the hand, he grabs her head and he stabs her through the neck from underneath the hammock. And it's a nod to when Betsy Palmer kills Kevin Bacon in the first movie. There's a lot of nods to the original in this one. But she says to Andy, when Andy's trying to get her to eat the bud, like when the cops are about to pull him over and they're trying to eat all the bud and they're like, yo, we got to get rid of the evidence. And she's like, wait, we're pregnant, remember? She says it twice in this movie that she's pregnant. And Jason kills a pregnant woman in this movie. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody acts like... People act like that shit never even happened. But this shit is great, man. This barn, the third act sequence in this barn is great. And I thought... I think this is what spawned a lot of third act sequences, not just in the Friday the 13th franchise, but in franchises in general, because they go back to this barn third act shit in part 5. I think it's done a hell of a lot better in this one because it's actually Jason. Spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't seen New Beginning, but there are characters I like in here. Like I do love Chuck and Chili, but then I often wonder, like, are these high school kids? Are these college kids? Like, why do Chuck and Chili seem like the adults that are hanging around the younger motherfuckers? I don't know. But I like Chili's character a lot, even though she doesn't get to do a lot in the movie. I love the character of Fox. I want to like Andy, but all he's got going for him is handstands. You know what I'm saying? He's just like, and yo-yos. When he's like, this is all the exercise I need. And Steve Miner's like, keep that fucking yo-yo in the shop, man. We're spending all this money on 3D. Keep that yo-yo in the shop. It's like, come on, man. Shelly's annoying. Did he deserve to die? No. Rick is annoying as fuck. Did he deserve to die? No. But does he get a great death scene? Sure. Does it look outdated? Absolutely. When that eyeball pops into the screen and all of that nonsense. But this is a great sequel nonetheless. If I had to give it something right now, I don't remember what I gave it. I did a commentary for this, an Intoxic commentary for this years ago, man, when I first started the podcast, and I don't know, as of right now, I would give it like a solid 8 out of 10, because it delivers everything you want, everything that would be required from a Friday the 13th film. Like, I'm not gonna say it started with this one, but this was the one where it was like, all right, now we know what the fuck we want, now we know how to get this ball rolling. And funny enough, part 4 went the opposite direction as far as the characters in the script, man. They actually had characters that were so good, if you took Jason out of it, I would have watched the movie with Crispin Glover and oh man, what's his name? Not Vince Van Patten, Peter Barton. I got them confused because they both were in Hell Night together. But Peter Barton and Kimberly Beck and Eric Anderson, recipe shout out to him. Judy Aronson, you know what I'm saying? Like they part 4 went in a completely different direction, but part 3 is definitely a lot of fun, man. And when I said it has 2 of the best kills in the franchise, and if people say they are the best kills in the series, I don't argue them down. When Vera gets shot in the eye with the spear gun, and when Andy gets cut in half with the machete, and this was a bold statement for the franchise, man, and for Jason, because Jason gets hung. You know, he gets hung. You see him hang, and then he's just like, nope, like I got it. Like, let me just, take this off and unveil for a second. And Jason is unstoppable. This was a Halloween 2 type of moment for me, when Michael Myers is walking on fire or walks through the door or gets up after the 5 shots. Like, Jason was not playing no games in this movie. And rest in peace, shout out also to Richard Brooker for being an amazing Jason Voorhees. Shout out to Steve Miner for doing a really good, solid Friday the 13th entry, man. But yeah, this is I actually can't wait to get to part 5 after doing this one. I might do part 5 tonight. I don't know. I might though.